Hello everyone, welcome to Prativa Tech. In this video, we will solve the problem of the day question on Geeks for Geeks for 17th April 2023. The problem statement for today is job sequencing problem. This problem is based on greedy algorithms and dynamic programming, and this has been asked in Microsoft and Acolyte interview. Let's now open this problem to solve it. Let's go through and understand the given problem statement. Here it says, given a set of n jobs where each job, that is job of I, has a deadline and profit associated with it. Each job takes 1 unit of time to complete and only one job can be scheduled at a time. We earn the profit if and only if the job is completed by its deadline. The task is to find the maximum number of jobs done and the maximum profit earned. In note, it is given that jobs will be in the form of job ID, deadline and profit associated with the job. Okay, so the problem is about scheduling a set of jobs that have associated deadlines and profit, where each job takes 1 unit of time to complete and only one job can be scheduled at a time. The goal is to find the maximum profit that can be earned by completing the jobs within the timeline. The output should provide the number of jobs that can be completed within their deadlines and the maximum profit that can be earned. Okay, so let's go through the given examples to understand it in a better way. So the first example says, here the number of jobs is n and the jobs array is given in this form, this one, where each bracket and under each job is represented in this form, where first item is job ID, second is deadline and third is profit. So if you look at first job this one, then 1 is the job ID, 4 is the deadline and 20 is the profit that can be earned when that particular job is completed. So similarly we have 4 jobs here, job ID 1, 2, 3 and 4. So we have to schedule all the jobs in such a way that we earn the maximum profit, and we have to return that how many jobs got completed as well. So here the output is 2 and 60. Job 1 and job 3 can be done with the maximum profit of 60, that is 20 plus 40, that is 60. So it is saying about job 1 and job 3. This is job 1 and job 3. So the thing is that all other jobs, if you look at their deadlines, so first one is having deadline as 4. All other 3 jobs have the deadline as 1. So from this we have to take the maximum one, that means which can give the maximum profit. That means 3 jobs are having deadline at 1. So we will try to complete that task or that job that will give the maximum profit. So out of these 3, so we will try to complete this third job, that because that will give the profit of 40. And once this is completed, then we have no other option than to complete this fourth job, because all the remaining other 2 jobs that was supposed to be completed within the timeline of 1 only, but at that time we chose to complete this third job. So after completing this we chose this, so it will become 40 plus 20, that will become 60. So the output is 60 here. Similarly, if we move to the next example, so the next example says the number of jobs is 5 and the jobs is given here. So here the output is 2 and 127. So 2 jobs can be done with a maximum profit of 127, that is 100 plus 27. So this one is the 100 here and 27 is this one. So what we can do, see, if we look at all these jobs, then we are having 1, 2 and 3. 3 jobs are having deadline at 1 and 2 jobs are having deadline at 2. So it is possible that since these 2 are having a deadline at 2, it can be completed before the deadline as well. Okay, so instead of selecting these 3 jobs which are having deadline at 1, it is better to select this one, 100, to be completed with the deadline 1. That means with the time slot of 1, and in the next slot where the deadline is 2, we would select 27. So it will give the maximum profit of 100 plus 27, that is 127. So we are not choosing anything with one deadline, rather we chose both the jobs with deadline 2 and we completed one of them in time slot 1, so that we get the maximum profit. Okay, so I hope both these examples are clear. So the approach to solve this problem would be to use greedy algorithm that sorts the job in descending order of their profits and then tries to schedule each job in the latest available slot before its deadline. Okay, so let's understand this approach with the example here. So I have taken the example of the first. I've taken the first example here of the given examples here. So here we can see this number of jobs was 4 and the jobs were this. Okay, so we have sorted this. So we have sorted this with the descending order of their profit. And if in case it happens that the profits are same, then we will sort it in the ascending order of their deadlines. Okay, so the sorting operation will be performed on these two conditions. We will try to sort it in descending order of their profit, so that the maximum profit one will be at the starting of this array. Okay, and if two jobs are having same profit, then we will try to sort it in ascending order of their deadlines. Okay, so with this one, after the sorting, then the array became this 3 1 40, then we have 30, then 20 and 10, the profits in the descending order. So the third one came here and fourth one came in the second place. First one went to third place and second one went to fourth place after sorting. That means in descending order of their profit. Then we have one array here that is representing the slots. That means the slots in which the jobs can be assigned to get it completed. So initialized, so everything initially it is all 0 here. Then for each job we will try to iterate and we will see that what is the deadline of all of them. So first we are calculating this j here, then we are checking this one, that array of I dot deadline -1. So the deadline here is this one 1. So we are doing -1 because it is again the array is 0 based indexing. So here we will get that in first step we will get the array of I dot deadline, that the value is 1 here. So 1 minus 1 it will become 0. So we will check at this one that what is the value at slot 0, that means slot of j, what is the value of there, what is the value of there. If it is 0, that means that slot is not filled. Then what we try to do, we try to assign that job to in that slot, and what we do, we increase the count as 1, we increase the maximum profit value as 40, because here we have 40 is the profit here. Initially max profit was assigned to 0 only. Initially here count, let me just write it, count will be 0 and max profit is also 0. So to the previous value of 0 we try to add the value of this one. So previous value was 0, so to 0 we add 40, so the maximum profit will be 40 in this one. Okay, and once that is done, then we mark that slot as occupied. So we are what we are doing, we are marking that slots of j is equal to 1, that is slot of 0 it is equal to 1. So here the array will look like slots array will look like this, that means 1 0 0 and 0, this way. Okay, so the slots array will look like this. So now we move to the next job. So here we can see this one. Here again we will get the JA as 0 only, because the deadline again it was 1 only for this. So again 1 minus 1 will be 0. Here again we will check, is the slot 0 occupied or not. But since it will see that yes, slot 0 is occupied because it has the value 1, it doesn't have the value 0. If slot of that index is having value 0, then only we will assign that job to that particular slot. But since the value is 1, it means that a slot is already occupied. So this job cannot be completed within this timeline of 1, because the previous job was done in that time, because that was giving us maximum profit of 40. This was giving us 30. So we choose to complete the first task, which was giving 40. Okay, so next we will move to the third job. Here we can see that what is that deadline here? Deadline here it is 4. So deadline here it is 4. That means the j value will be 4 minus 1, that is equal to 3. Okay, so here we will check that what is the value of slot 3. So slot 3 is 0. If you look at this array, then we get the value of slot 3 is 0. So when this slot value is empty, that means it is not occupied, then what we do, we assign that job to that particular slot. So to the previous count, whatever it was 1, so we are incrementing the count as 2. That means till now 2 jobs got scheduled. And to the maximum profit, which was 40 in the previous step, we add the profit which is there 20 in this case. So 40 plus 20 will become 60. Okay, so again after this we will mark slot 3, slot of 3 is equal to 1. So the slots array will again look like, if I copy it here, then it will be like this. Okay, so now we move to the next job. So here also we can see the deadline is 1 only. Again it will check it will find the value of j. The value will again come as 0 because it was supposed to be get done in first slot only. That means when the deadline was 1. But since that place is already occupied, this cannot be taken in any other slot because that deadline is already over. So we will not be able to schedule this job. So after this we will come out of this for loop and all the operations are done. So at last we will return whatever is the maximum value, whatever is the value we have got in count and maximum profit. So that's why the answer is 2 and 60. So 2 is the count here and 60 is the profit here. So I hope this example, whatever I explained, that is pretty clear that how we will be solving this problem. So with this approach only, we will try solving this problem. So I have already prepared the solution just to save time in typing. Let me just copy the solution here. Okay, so here I'll explain what we are doing in this this particular code. Okay, so this given code solves the same problem I described in the problem statement, which is to find the maximum profit by scheduling a set of jobs with their associated deadlines and profits, where each job takes 1 unit time to complete. What we do, we first sort the input array of n jobs in descending order of their profit, using the lambda expression as the comparator. Okay, if 2 jobs have the same profit, then the job with the earlier deadline is given priority. This ensures that the job with a higher profit and earlier deadlines are scheduled first. Okay, so first we are checking if the profit, that means the profit are same. If the profit are same, then we are scheduling it in the ascending order of their deadline. Else, we schedule it in the descending order of their profit. Okay, then after that we initialize an array of size n slots is initialized to keep the track of available slots at each deadline. The count variable is used to keep track of the number of jobs scheduled, and max profit is variable used to keep track of maximum profit earned. So these all things are initialized here. Okay, then we iterate through the sorted jobs and tries to schedule each job finding the latest slot before its deadline. Okay, actually here we have tried doing this one, but actually this is not required because every time the value of n is same only. So let me just remove it. Even this step is sufficient. Okay, so for each job we are running this one in loop here, and we are trying to find the latest available slots before its deadline. So the inner loop we run for that array of I dot deadline -1 to 0 until the value becomes 0, which ensures that we do not go outside the bounds of the slots array. Here again the -1 is because the indices start with 0 and deadline is 1 based indexing. Okay, so once this the value of j is allotted the way we saw in this example here, this one, in this example here, for each job we allotted the value of j. So the same way, we are taking the value of deadline and we do a -1 operation there, so we get the value of j. So for each slot we check that if the slots of j is equal to 0. If it is equal to 0, then it means that slot is available. Then we schedule the job and update the count and max profit, and the slot of that particular index is marked as occupied. Okay, and if that is done, if for a particular job, that slot is scheduled, then that means that slot is occupied, or we can say that we have taken that job for its accomplishment, then we break out for the loop. This breaking out of the loop to indicate that job has already been scheduled. Okay, so this will continue in this loop for all the jobs, and once we come out of this loop, then here we are creating a new array of size 2 to store count and max profit, and we return it. Okay, so that's it in the coding part of it. So we are first sorting it in descending order. We are initializing some variables and array slots to keep track of all the scheduled jobs. Then we iterate through each jobs. We try to find the deadlines of each jobs and check if for a particular job that slot is already been occupied or not. If that is not occupied, then we schedule that job to be completed in that timeline, and we increment the count, and we get the value, add the max profit value that can be earned for scheduling that job, and we mark that scheduled as occupied. And once this is done for all the jobs, then we create a new array to store count and max profit, and we return it. Okay, so this was the coding part of it. I have given comments against each line so that it becomes very easy to understand. So let's try compiling this code. So here we can see we have got correct output for the given input. Let's try submitting this solution. So here we can see all the test cases have been passed. So this problem has been solved successfully. So talking about this time complexity of this algorithm, it is in the order of big of n square in the worst case, because of the nested loops, because two nested loops are we are using here. But in practice, it is much faster than n square, because the number of available slots at each deadline is much smaller than n. Therefore, the overall time complexity is very close to big of n log n, which is the time complexity of the sorting algorithm used. Okay, so it pretends to be in the order of big of n square, but because the number of slots available in the deadline is much smaller than n, so the inner loop will not be what to say, that will not be running for each and every time. It will be running for a fewer number of times. So so because of that only, the overall time complexity is closer to big of n log n. Okay, so this was the Java solution of it. I have even prepared C++ solution. So let's move to C++ editor, and here I'll copy that code. Again, even in this I have added comments against each line so that it becomes easy to understand. Here also the same complete logic is same only. Here again, first we are converting this array to vector in this one, so that we can perform the sorting operation on that vector. Then we are again from jobs beginning to the end, we are comparing the jobs, and for compare jobs we have used this method static boolean, this one, where we are again checking if profit is not equal to, if the profits of both the jobs are not same, then return the maximum profit one. Okay, else if the profit is same, then we sort it in the ascending order of the deadline, the same thing. Then again that we initialize those variables, we iterate through all this, we iterate in this loop for all the jobs, and we try to find a slot for each the job. That means we are trying to schedule a job, and if the slot is available, then we increment the count indicating that that job is scheduled, then calculating the max profit and marking that slot as occupied, and we break out for this from this loop, and this will happen for all the jobs. Okay, so this is again the same as Java solution only the syntactical difference whatever we have between C++ and Java, that only is taken care in the C++ solution. Let's try compiling this code. So here we can see we have got correct output even for this C++ code. Let's try submitting the solution. So even for C++ solution we have got correct solution, all the test cases have been passed. Okay, so I'll provide the link for this question and the link for the solution code in the description box. Please do check that. That's all in this video. Please like, comment and share the video, and please subscribe to the channel for more upcoming videos. Thank you for watching.